patience. I was trying to record a video here for YouTube purposes, but it does not seem like my recording software pretty much likes recording off my GTX 980. So I am gonna be doing it the way that I'm doing it here right now. So we just departed out of Eagle County, and we are headed over to Salt Lake City in the American Airlines 738. We're climbing now to flight number 300, and it's going to be a short hop, most likely about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes, where we should be landing in the next 20 minutes. So we are airborne, we are climbing right now. If we just go ahead and take a look, I've got these things set up. If you look, we're up at least climbing through flight number 23, well, 240 now. We are on VATSIM, so if you do look on VATSIM, you should be able to see us, posting along. So I decided to hop back into my trusty Flight Sim 2020 because 2024 is not doing what it's supposed to. I should not have zoomed in on that. I'll leave that as is. Because apparently there are some issues whenever you zoom in with the PMDG tablet. It tends to mess up the entire thing where it starts stuttering and lagging. But we are now coasting. Our top of climb is going to be right about there, and we should be cool. So we're just waiting for us to hit top of climb while I do a few things. As we climb up here, we should be on point today. Alright, so for some reason I don't see the stream look, stuttery or laggy or anything like that, so I'm not sure why is it that OBS and also NVIDIA is having trouble recording this. I'm thinking because they're recording in 1080p, that could be the issue, and then I would most likely need to upscale it myself. But it's no problem. I will work on that when I do get the chance and whenever I feel to. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at our progress here. We still got just a few minutes. If you notice, we're not gonna really take that long to get over to Salt Lake City today. The departure, I would have streamed the departure. However, when I tried to record it, made it look like something, but then all of a sudden, that was gonna go. All of a sudden, it just started lagging and then freezing. But that's just because my OBS and my NVIDIA does not like my GTX 980 that I have here right now. So there we go. So we are now at flight level 300, and we are just looking out for our top of descent here in a second. Alright, so we got 111 miles top of descent, so we should be all set. And we are going to be cruising right now. The departure itself was pretty interesting. It was a pretty interesting departure. If I go ahead and pull up our departure today, we did have our Beaver 1 departure, which was an RNAV departure. So as soon as we took off, we had to turn left on a 206 headed over to Cooper, and then we had to follow. So it's basically a climb-in turn, right-hand turn, and then we are out to Spark because we had to go over to Prez, then over to Gorman, then Spark. So it was just as soon as we climbed, as soon as we took off, we had right turn and then followed this, or left turn. But we followed a right turn, max 225, and then we increased speed as soon as we hit Gorman. Alright, so there we are. that's basically the gist of what we did for our departure. Alright, so the weather looks good. Not really anything to write home about. Um, it's just as it should. Should I see my aircraft icon? Okay. Let's leave it at that. Oh, no, it's not like that either. One thing I hate when I zoom in with this is that it tends to be pretty troublesome about that. I gotta turn this off, lock location, so that you can move this around. But we are now at flight level 300, register level. Last night I came into Eagle County and it was pretty dark on the approach. The landing was perfect. That's one of the best landings that I've ever made into Eagle County, especially in the nighttime. And my recording software decided to like stutter and show it like I was lagging, but if you look on the stream, I'm not lagging here, so I'm not sure why the software did what it did, but it's okay. Alright, so while we we're gonna start getting ourselves prepared here for the arrival. We're arriving into Salt Lake City today. Our approach is gonna be, if I'm not mistaken, it's an ILS. Let's see where we're popping in. That's a vector into that location, and let's see if we can change or get rid of some of these vectors. All right, let's step, and that should be the vector from here to Dunlop. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove this, and that way we can just go directly into get onto the approach here. So let's step here and see. So it's basically a straight-in approach for runway 34 left. So we're going to try to see if we can get our ILS charts here. I'm going to be doing an ILS, and then I will be disconnecting my autopilot just before minimums. Basically, this means that it's, basically zero. But let's see, we'll do an RA of 102 for that landing. So I'm going to go ahead and reset here. So basically, it's going to be 100 feet for that barrel. Now we're going to go ahead and tune, and I like doing this early so that I don't have to be looking for it later. Now let's see here, 111.9er for the ILS. I'm using my mouse here to move around. 19er. And let's put it through. Yep, there we go. 11990. There we go. ILS is set. Our course, final approach course is 344. Let me switch this back over to our map mode so I can see when our top of descent is coming. So it's going to be 344. And I know you don't have to do it on both, but it's from FSX days when you definitely needed to do it, where you had to enter both courses and both ILSs, and then you would be able to initiate an auto land with this. But regardless of the fact I'm not going to be doing an auto land, I'll just be following the glide path down. At about 1,000 feet, I should be disconnecting our autopilot, and we should be landing, safely in Salt Lake City. So I'm going to go ahead and hit our performance tool. Let's do a landing en route. We are 34 left. That's right. Import the aircraft details and import our weather. Why auto brake 3? I'm not sure, but we'll go ahead with it. So we're going to be rocking auto brake 3 for this landing today. Also, this is also a test for the new sound pack, and yes, I do have the new sound pack enabled, which is pretty cool. I love the sounds that they did. So Boris did an amazing job with this sound pack. Okay. For some reason, there's something in here that's... Oh, okay, I know what's in here that's not supposed to be here. Okay, so we should be approaching soon our top of descent progress. It's about 56, so we're gonna check out our VREF, which is 147 knots. So we're gonna go in ref, and what flaps are we landing at? Landing flap config is flap 30, so we're not taking full 40, flaps 40 landing, it's flaps 30, and with 147 knots, just to confirm, yes it is. Alright, so flaps 30, 147 knots has been selected, and we are going to be auto brake 3 for that landing. So we're all prepared right now with the aircraft. Everything is fully configured for landing or for our approach. So we are ahead of our aircraft right now. We can just enjoy the beautiful sights here while we, coast over to Salt Lake City. Again, these are all sounds from Boris. By now you would be hearing a louder sound. That would be PMDG sound, but I'm using Boris's 737 sound pack, which is amazing, and I love the sounds because it did change up a lot of things, especially your takeoff roll, your co-pilot's call out like airspeed is alive, V1 rotate, positive rate, and so on. I'm waiting to see if they have changed it up for landing. If that's the case, I'm hoping that they did do something like that. Alright, so let me get back into the cockpit here because I want to always be ready for our approach. Alright, so we have 30 miles, basically 37 miles to our destination, or our top of descent. And for now, I always like checking my maps, making sure that everything is the way that it's supposed to go. Let's just see what our approach today is going to be like. We are on the Lychee 5 arrival, runway 24 left. Alright, let's do our star. This is the R9 arrival. Let's see if there are going to be anything that's significant for us to keep an eye out for. Alright, so we're going to be coming in via Hepler, and then we are flying directly in. So it looks like these, we got to maintain 16,000 feet all the way up to Spain right here, and we should expect for flight level 19. So all this is flight level 160. So even if we're not below or at least at 160, we know that we are still going to be crossing this at 160. Then we are going to be heading over to Lychee right here. We're not taking the Fairfield VOR, but we are going straight into Plage, and then we're going to be intercepting our ILS into runway 34 left. All right, so while I prep, let's see what altitude we're going to descend to. All right, so initially we have Chief Spain, we have 12,000 set. So I'm gonna go ahead and select 12,000 here, so the autopilot will do its stuff with its VNAV. But I can attempt, or I can turn on our head tracking as well, but I don't like how the head tracking works here. Let's see if I can test head tracking. Hopefully it does work. No, I cannot because I disconnected my my camera. Yeah, I disconnected my camera because it was causing issues. So sadly, there should be no head tracking. And besides, the head tracking is done by the camera, and it's pretty finicky to do. I really don't like how the head tracking works, so I will just leave it as is. Alright, so there's our top of descent. It's just barely attempted to come back to us. Again, we are setting a minimums at 100 feet, or 100 feet MSA. Tomorrow morning I definitely got a disappointment, so I should not be flying tomorrow. I may just have my PC active. I was going to do a pretty long flight, do a flight for Emirates Virtual, most likely an A380 flight. However, I don't think I'm going to do that. I just had one of the most annoying things happen to me today, or for the past times. Before my computer was repaired, I encrypted a file. I encrypted one single file on my Microsoft Flight Simulator folder, and apparently it encrypted the entire folder. Now, after moving my SSD over to my main PC, the board itself was not recognized by the user, and apparently it corrupted some of the stuff that I had to get done. So I had to end up moving all of my files outside of the Flight Simulator folder, because I could not get anything to do. For example, if I installed FSU-IBC, FSU-IBC would not automatically enter the auto start in the emc.xml file, which was annoying in and of itself. There we go, we're retard and we're following VNAV back. Alright, descent has been descent has started, and we should be okay. So just to continue, yeah, so I was not aware of, decrypting the files before I swapped up my drive. I was so excited. And apparently I stuffed it up. So when I attempted to remove the encryption, it said, hey, no, we cannot decrypt this file. So I had to use my terminal and force decrypt the item, like force them into being mine. So my new user profile, I had to, force it to be under my profile on this local machine. And then I had to force decrypt them, which they did. And after they were decrypted, I had to move them, delete everything that was in my Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator packages folder. I had to delete everything, and then, copy everything back over, or paste everything back into the folder, which as soon as I did and I reinstalled FSU-IBC, it, did everything that it needed to do. So right now, everything works the way that it needed to work. So it's not forcing anything. It's not forcing me to remain, locked onto one thing. So we're all set. also planning tomorrow to try to get the Embraer 175. I have been thinking about getting it for a long time. Um, I love the Flight Sim Studios aircrafts are pretty cool. Mainly that Embraer 175 because ERJ comes into Dominica, which I'm from. And with its flights here, I would love to perform some ERJ flights into Dominica, and that's the only way that I can do it is, doing it that way. And I would love to do some winter ops into different locations, and the ERJ 175 is one of the best. Alright, so I just don't want to be landing in the evening again. Nighttime landings are annoying as heck. Salt Lake City does look like its weather is okay. Let's check the weather out in Salt Lake City. Here, go full screen. Let's do our arrival weather, and there we go. Alright, temperature is 03. Wow, okay, so the temperature is 3 degrees Celsius, the dew point is minus 9 degrees. So that means that we definitely are gonna see some form of cold weather ops. And around here, I love flying cold ops or winter ops. It's a pretty good time to fly, as a matter of fact. So let me go ahead and check our METAR. All right, METAR.taf, METARTAF.com. All right. Okay, so we do have pretty good visibility, few clouds, winds 280 at 5 knots, 10-mile visibility, no ceiling, and the clouds are few at 20,000 feet. QNH 3 0.04 hectopascals. There are no warnings, and it's they're all the way through to VFR. So that means that we are able to get in visually. If you notice, we are getting a little bit of turbulence here. Our seatbelt signs are on, so we don't have to worry about that. We have had our seatbelt signs on for the entire flight. Let's see if I can adjust my camera height here, so I can see just barely above here. I'm a pretty tall dude, so sitting here and get this up, sitting here and not being able to see above here is pretty annoying. And we are navigating our way down. Let's check our charts again. Make sure that our approach here, 34 left. Oh, not Cat 1. Our Cat 3. Alright, so our final descent profile is going to land us at 6,100 feet. And that is going to be at flag. At flag right here is where we should be intercepting our glide slope. So we just got to be mindful of that. Right, again, so we are going to be doing an ILS approach for this. So it's not going to be an ILS landing, or it's not going to be an auto land. It is going to be a manual landing. However, I am going to be using the ILS to guide me down to the airport, down to the airfield. And when we hit about 1,000 feet, I'm going to be disconnecting our autopilot, and we're going to be landing at Salt Lake City today. Now, I do have the Salt Lake City Airport scenery as well. On approach, we may have a slight stutter. Um, but that's just a limitation of my own simulator. It's not like, something that I experience all the time. Whenever I land at a location for the first time, there is going to be some form of stuttering, so it should be expected. All right, so we just busted through flight level 200, and we are going down flight level 198. And that sunset is looking amazing today. Oh, an interesting thing is, while I was, coming back home, I went down to grab a drink, and when I was getting back home, I looked up, and lo and behold, I saw what looked to be something burn up in the atmosphere. It was literally uh, burning up. I was like, that is one remarkable. It could be a meteorite, or it could be anything, but whatever it was, it came through the atmosphere pretty quickly. All right, let's see if we're gonna select our terrain so we can see what's around us. All right, there we go. All right, let's check our, nope. All right, here we go on our approach. Okay, so I thought we were coming from Helper, but it looks like we're popping in from Racer here. Alright, let's get our standard out. Alright, so the runway should be somewhere around this location here. We are going to switch over our ILS to switch our active. There we go. So we have land 3 enunciated and should be turning in. Alright, just above 16,000, and then from here we're going to be trying to get down to 12,000. We're not going over here. I think we're going over to then Plage, and then we're headed into our final. Again, I'm not using any head tracking, so I gotta do with what I got. It's just gonna be my mouse. My mouse in and of itself is behaving a little bit dusty right now. Look at how beautiful that sunset is. Traffic heading home. It's like everyone is heading home tonight. Alright, so I may go ahead and use our auto brake here for us to try to slow down. Let me go ahead and switch this down to our final approach altitude, or our final altitude is going to be 6,100 feet. And allow the aircraft to get all the way down. Alright, everyone is heading home. It looks like it's rush hour right now. They're either heading home or they're heading into Salt Lake City. Not sure why they travel so much, but alright, there was one of those slight stutters. So it may look like, it may look like stutters for you guys. It's definitely not a stutter for me. It's like just a slight, it slows down for a short second, and then it just automatically corrects itself. Right, so we just got to maintain our speed here just to try to not get over 250 knots. We are just a little bit above 250 knots. I'm just checking my altimeter. We're set. And we are expecting to have a little bit of crosswind here for that landing. Our decelerate point is all the way here, which is a little bit close to the approach path, but we should be fine. I will activate approach mode at play, or yeah, plage. That way we can get down onto the localizer and get connected with the localizer here. I should be able to see visual on the runway anytime soon. We're not close enough yet to be able to see that runway, but we should be fine. Initially, we are supposed to be at 244 knots, so I can realistically attempt to slow us down. But I'm just going to go ahead and keep our energy going as much as I can because of our fuel. I don't want to, you know, be in any low energy states burning more fuel than I need to. Alright, that sunset looks amazing out here. And this is all Flight Sim 2020. Just 2020, not 2024. I'm not able to get into Flight Sim 2024, so I'm never gonna try or attempt Flight Sim 2024. This is all Flight Sim 2020 right now. Alright, so it's already checking out some terrain. I know we don't have any weather because I can see like everything all the way out, so look at how that sun is setting, and there are clouds just streaking that sun. That's beautiful. A lot of people are mad to leave Flight Sim 2020, that's for sure. I mean, I love, again, I'm not gonna rant about 2020 and 2024, but let's be honest, Flight Sim 2020 is amazing. Alright, 6,100 and it's all set, we're all good. We are activating approach mode at plage, and there we go. So our glide slope is alive. We are not, you know, gonna be busting that glide slope yet. Gonna use our speed brake to try to slow us down a little bit. Let's get our landing lights on, and let's go ahead and get our runway turn-offs on, so we are a little bit more visible. There's a runway right there. That's pretty close. Prepping for, no, that's not the runway. What am I saying? That's a different runway. That's all the way back. Don't do what I just did. Avoid what I just did. I'm like, that's just way too close to the runway, man. Alright. Looks like steep descent after Dunlop. Yeah, that's fine. We should not be having any ridiculously steep descents. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and initiate approach mode. Alright, so it's LNAV Vorlock and we have glide slope. Alright, single channel. And we are established on our on the localizer, so we should be calling in right now. Salt Lake City traffic, Heritage 6006. We are established on the localizer for runway 34 left. Salt Lake City traffic. Right, so our speed is moving back. We're gonna have to try to slow down. Salt Lake City is pretty big, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap over to our airport diagram. Let's get to our airport info. We're still pretty far out, and we're gonna be around here, 34 left, and then we're gonna try to exit off of one of these. It's 12,000 feet long. We should be pretty good. Well, let's. We're not in any rush yet. first degree of flap so we can try to get some speed bled off.
2,500.
Check. Thousand to go. All right, let's get that out. Let's get another degree of flaps in. Let's go ahead and arm our speed brake in preparation for landing. Right now, realistically, we can go ahead and start doing our, we can start taking control of the aircraft, but I'm not going to be doing that. We're getting our next degree of flaps. We're dropping our landing gear right now. We are trying our best to get the speed under control. There we go. We are established on glide. Salt Lake City traffic, Heritage 6006, we are landing runway 34 left. Salt Lake City traffic. There's going to be a flaps 30 landing, so it's not going to be, we're not going to be coming in way too fast here. We're going to switch to our ref, 147, flaps 25, flaps 30. Landing checklist, landing gear down and lock 3 greens, auto brakes arms, and on the auto brake is at 3, and our speed brakes are armed. Landing checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and get our landing lights on, or taxi light on. We're coming up on 1,000. Check. Alright, cool. We have already started to get that little wind. Alright, we're deviating slightly left of the center line here. So we're going to try to get onto the center line. A slight deviation is okay. It's expected from hand flying this, and we do have wind. I'm not using rudders, I'm just using the twist on my joystick here. We should be fine with that landed.
400.
Slight adjustments.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Get off that auto brake. That auto brake got me twitchy right there. That auto brake was really twitchy here. Alright. So, welcome to Salt Lake City, guys. Alright, we are off at Alpha 7. Did have a okay, there goes our lag spike. Now we're gonna stop right here because we are experiencing a severe lag spike here. Does not look like it's gonna fix itself anytime soon. For some reason, it's not gonna attempt to fix itself, so we're gonna get our flaps up. Not sure. Yep, there are some Air lags going on here. Alright, so it looks like I am definitely not going to be able to stream our taxi in. We are not going to be able to stream our taxi in because that just happened. After all of that, proper landing, I'm definitely going to have to stop this stream because I cannot taxi in with this. This just... Oh, okay, well, looks like it fixed itself. Or it's attempted to fix itself. Alright, let's switch back to weather radar and try to see if it'll get itself where it needs to be. Alright, so we're going to the next taxiway right there. We're not going to be swinging in that way. Yeah, it looks like it's just arriving at Salt Lake City is the issue here. Because I have never came to Salt Lake City. So right now everything is attempting to be loaded up. Alright, well, I don't think that was pretty much of a bad landing. I gotta check my ACARs and see what it says. Let's check our ACARs. Ooh, that was. They said it was hard. They said it was minus 338 feet per minute. Can you believe that? Wow. All right, let us. Gotta. There's some of these lights. Yeah, it's because we have never been to Salt Lake City, guys. There are things being loaded in here that they are conflicting with each other. So for some reason, we are experiencing some stutters. I hate this. Oh well. I'm here. It held up all the way up until landing, which is fine. Which is pretty fine by me. I could care less right now. We're gonna pick the first parking spot, which is gonna be Bravo 1. And our thrust are at idle while we come into Bravo 1. Alright, here we go. Brake. Alright, well, that's basically it for this flight because for some reason my sim does not like Salt Lake City. So I am off power right now, and let's go ahead and get our ground ops going. Oh, what is that? Those are brakes. Alrighty, that's engine oil, hydraulic fluid. Okay, one is low. That's interesting. Alright, let's do our ground connection. So we're gonna set our wheel chocks. And we're gonna request our ground power immediately. Oh, that's says refill. I get it. this down. Ground power is not yet in. We are still waiting for ground power. All right, well, we will tell maintenance about it. I'm not maintenance. I'm not gonna interfere with anything else that has to deal with that refilling. We'll put that in the books and then have them do whatever they need to do to get it done. Oh, all right, we're waiting for ground power to be connected because apparently I hit that ground chalk thing twice, so it did not connect. All right, ground power is on. All right, there we go. So that the steady anti-collision light is set to off. All right, fuel pumps are going off, and then now you can get rid of our APU. Alrighty, I know this was not one of the best flights into landing for you guys have ever seen. Again, that auto brake literally had some serious deceleration on it, and it kind of, stuffed up my entire landing. So I was side to side all over the place. But um, don't do what I just did. Try your best to keep it auto brake 2. I think we should have been able to get away with auto brake 2 on that landing. But I hope you guys did. Thank you so much for joining me for that short flight. I know it's not the prettiest, it's not the best, but at least you guys were here for it. Well, thank you so much for being here, guys, and you have a great day.